Who would believe that a quiet janitor, mopping the floors of a university late at night, could be the man who solved the one problem that left the world's greatest scientists speechless? But this isn't just any janitor. This is Jack Turner, a single dad, a decorated veteran, and a man with a mind sharper than anyone could have imagined. If you're someone who believes that true genius can come from the most unexpected places, stay with me till the end. Because by the time you finish this story, you'll understand why people around the world stood up for him, why scientists cried on live TV, and why you'll want to hit that like button and subscribe, because stories like this remind us that greatness doesn't always wear a suit, sometimes it wears a janitor's uniform. Jack Turner wasn't always sweeping floors. Once, he was a soldier, an elite strategist known for solving impossible missions using nothing but logic, instinct, and courage. But life had a way of humbling even the strongest souls. After losing his wife in a tragic accident, Jack walked away from everything, the military, the glory, the rank. All he had left was his little daughter, Emily. She was his world, his reason to wake up every day. He promised her one thing: I'll never give up. Not on you. Not on life. So when he took the janitor job at the University of Cambridge Research Center, it wasn't out of defeat, it was out of love. He needed stability. A quiet life. Something steady for Emily's future. The scientists at the university barely noticed him. To them, he was invisible, just the guy who cleaned their mess, emptied their bins, and polished the glass boards after long lectures. But Jack noticed everything. He always did. Every night, when the halls went silent, Jack would linger in the labs. He'd look at the scribbles on the whiteboards, the equations that filled entire walls, strings of numbers, symbols, and question marks. To most people, it was gibberish. To Jack, it was a language, a challenge. His eyes danced across the formulas, his brain firing like a supercomputer. You see, Jack wasn't just smart. He was once part of a classified program, an experimental cognitive enhancement initiative for strategic warfare. His IQ was tested at over 900. He was the mind the military trusted when no one else could find a way. One night, he stood before a board labeled, the Unified Energy Paradox. It was the most complex theoretical model of sustainable clean energy in history. The world's top physicists had been trying to solve it for decades, a model that could unlock infinite energy from quantum resonance without harmful emissions. Billions in research. Decades of work. No solution. Until Jack picked up a marker. At first, he hesitated. What right did he have? He was just the janitor now. But then he thought of Emily. Her asthma. The nights she struggled to breathe because of pollution. He remembered her tiny voice. Daddy, when will the sky be blue again? That was all it took. He began writing, quietly, swiftly. Equations connected like rivers. Symbols merged and split. His hands moved faster, his mind calculating dimensions, probabilities, quantum harmonics all at once. Hours passed. The board filled with layers of logic no computer could simulate. By dawn, he stood before a completed formula. The answer that had escaped humanity for a century. The next morning, Drive. Louise Warren, lead physicist of the department, entered the lab. Her jaw dropped. Who did this? She whispered. She called the entire team. They ran simulations. And for the first time ever, the model held. It worked. The impossible equation was solved. They thought a visiting Nobel laureate must have done it. But no one claimed it. Until the night shift guard mentioned, only one person was here. Last night, the janitor. Jack Turner. At first, they laughed. A janitor. Solve that. Impossible. But when they confronted Jack, he didn't boast. He didn't even smile. He just said quietly, I saw the mistake. It was in your resonance feedback loop. Then he rewrote a small portion right in front of them. Instantly, the computer simulation stabilized again. Silence filled the room. Every scientist stared at him, some in awe, some in disbelief, others with tears in their eyes. Word spread fast. The media called him the genius janitor. Universities tried to offer him positions overnight. Billionaires wanted to fund him. But Jack didn't care about fame or money. I don't need titles, he said softly in a press interview. I just want a world my daughter can breathe in. Soon, his equation led to the creation of a sustainable energy reactor that produced infinite clean power using quantum resonance. Cities powered up without emissions. Children played under blue skies again. Nations that once fought over oil now joined hands for progress. And at the heart of it all, was one man, holding a mop in one hand and a dream in the other. But Jack's journey wasn't without obstacles. The corporate world tried to steal his formula. Greedy investors offered him billions to sell the rights. When he refused, they threatened him, filed lawsuits, even tried to discredit him. But Jack stood firm. "You can't own what belongs to the world," he said at a United Nations summit. His courage inspired millions. Veterans, single parents, janitors, people who thought they were invisible, saw in him a reflection of hope. That genius isn't defined by money, or titles, or degrees. It's defined by heart, purpose, and perseverance. And one evening, as the sun set over the city glowing with his clean energy, Emily hugged her father and whispered, "Daddy, the sky is blue again." Jack smiled, eyes wet. "Yes, baby girl, we did it." The world would go on to call him the man who solved the unsolvable. But to Emily, he was just Dad, the man who never gave up, who taught her that no matter how hard life gets, there's always a way if your heart is pure and your purpose strong. So if you're watching this right now, let Jack's story remind you, your circumstances don't define your potential. You might feel unseen, underestimated, or forgotten. But deep inside you, there's a light the world needs. Don't hide it.